All righty. So for anyone who may not know me, I am attorney Ernest B. Fenton. I have more than 25 years of experience in the business and in the legal field. Right? Graduated law school in 1997, people. Went in 1994, Harvard Law School, undergraduate degree at Chicago's very own Chicago State University, Bachelor's of Science in Business Management. Started my first business in 1994. Selling jewelry at Evergreen Plaza Mall, retail, back and forth, importing jewelry from Africa, Nairobi, South Africa. I did that for 7 years, and the retail business expanded to 2-3 stores, went into the shoe business, started investing in real estate, started practicing law in 2001 full time, right? So anything dealing with real estate from A to Z, you're looking to purchase a property, you're selling a property, you're in foreclosure, you like to know how to protect your assets. Attorney Fenton, you talk about these things, these living trusts. You talk about how wills are antiquated. We'll talk about that. Attorney Fenton, you always provide us posts regarding how it's not a good idea to place your children on the deed. People, do not place your children on deed. Do not. If you're Attorney Fenton, I'm getting up in age and I trust my daughter. So what I did was I just put her name on my bank account. I'm telling you, get your daughter's name off your bank account, people. That's not a good idea. Attorney Fenton, my husband, or I'm not married anymore. So I wanted to make certain if something happened to me that everything would go smoothly. So I just went on ahead and I put my son's name on the deed. Get your son's name off that deed, ma'am. I'm going to tell you why. If you're interested in knowing why, you can call in now at 312-374-8130. If you're watching this on social media, go ahead and post your questions below. Share the video, tag some friends who need to hear this conversation. I'm taking all questions regarding estate planning, real estate. If you are in business and you have questions, Attorney Fenton, I'm being evicted. What rights do I have as a tenant? This foreclosure one is big. Are you afraid? Because, in 2008, 2009, the financial crisis, the mortgage meltdown that occurred, and I was in the middle of it. So I understand foreclosure defense backward and forward. I sort of cut my teeth on that. I've represented thousands of clients in foreclosure. So if you have questions regarding foreclosure, what are your rights? Let's talk about it. There's something else called a strategic default or a strategic foreclosure. If you think that you are in over your head and you need a way out, let's talk about what options do you have to get out of a bad investment. Let's talk about that one. 312-374-8130. Share the video, people. And if you have questions, again, on social media, you can go ahead and ask me a question. But what I'd like to do today is really just take your questions. But there is one thing I do want to address before I get to Donna and Cliff. 2 more people. I'll wait for 2 more people. 312-374-8130. Well, the first one is why it's not a good idea to place someone on title with you. That's number 1. So we'll keep it with that one. Let's go to the lines. Let's take line number 1. Speak with Donna.
Hi, Attorney Fenton.
Hello. How are you, Donna?
Oh, I'm hanging in and holding on. I have 2 quick questions.
Hold on. Okay. First question.
First question. The PPE, I am a business owner. I am an entrepreneur, but I am a single entrepreneur.
What's PPE? What's PPE?
I'm sorry, the loan that they're giving from the government.
Payroll protection
program. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So, can I apply as an individual without any employees? Am I eligible for that loan?
You are. The payroll protection program does allow for individuals who are self-employed or solopreneurs. You are eligible to apply for that paycheck protection program. There was a second round of funding that occurred about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So the best way to go about it is to speak to your banker. And this is also a perfect example of why it is important to have a relationship with a banker and with a bank. Okay.
Okay.
Now, so I don't know if, all the funds have been exhausted. I haven't heard anything regarding that second round of funding in terms of the funds, no more funds being available. So just reach out and apply.
Kimberly going earlier, and she was talking to somebody who said that they were still some available. That's why I wanted to wait until I talked to you to see, if I was eligible.
You are eligible as a solopreneur.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Question 2.
Yes.
If you have a home that is currently, if your parent has a home that is currently part of a reverse mortgage, how does that work in the event of their death if they have a trust?
Well, let me ask you this: why are you calling me with all these hard questions? I'm just messing. You got the right man. Stop playing games with me. She's like, I just appreciate the confidence that you all have in me. Attorney Fenton, what's his name? Einstein said E equals MC squared, but what is your thoughts on that? Really, Donna? Okay, I can answer that though. Okay.
Okay.
All right, you can hold or you can just listen in. I'll go real deep on it. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
312-374-8130. Cliff, you're up next. So Donna posed the question. She said, if your parents have a reverse mortgage, what rights do you have upon their passing? And also consider that, or take into consideration that the property is in a trust. All right. So let's first begin with a reverse mortgage. Number one is, what is a reverse mortgage? Because a lot of people don't know what that is. So a reverse mortgage is a loan product that is available. I'm sorry, Donna's phone is up. Can we turn her down or mute Donna? Can we mute Donna? Or Donna, we'd have to turn your phone, the radio down. Okay. So first and foremost, a reverse mortgage is a loan product. And what it does is it provides financing or funding or relief from the obligation to pay mortgage payments for seniors. So as an example, if you're 62 years of age or older and you are a property owner, you can, even if you have a mortgage or if you do not have a mortgage, if your property has 35% or more equity, then it is possible for you to obtain what's called a reverse mortgage. And so essentially, let's just pretend that you owe $50,000 and the property's value is $100,000. In that instance, then you have $50,000 of equity or 50% equity. Under the reverse mortgage program, a lender may be willing to come in and loan you up to 65% of the equity in the home. So a lender may loan you $65,000. So you would pay off the $50,000 mortgage balance, and then you would have an additional $15,000 that you can put in your pocket essentially, or have a line of credit for $15,000. So one value of the reverse mortgage is that it works like a refinance. Okay. But the real value for seniors for a reverse mortgage is that during your lifetime, you are not obligated to make mortgage payments. So you take out the 60, or your parents, in Donna's case, let's say her mother or father, they took out a reverse mortgage for $65,000. The parents are not obligated to pay a mortgage payment during their lifetime. Now, they're not paying a mortgage payment, but there is interest accruing on the principal balance. So if they took out $65,000, that may be a 5% interest rate. So the mortgage balance is growing. Let's say they live another 20 years. They're 85 years of age. They took this mortgage, reverse mortgage out at 65. They live another 20 years. So what was a $65,000 loan may have grown to a $90,000 loan. So now to Donna's question. At the passing of the last of her parents to survive, so no more parents, both have passed on, unfortunately. Donna, step one is, once the reverse mortgage company is made aware that your parents have passed, they will provide you 3 months typically, or 90 days to settle that loan. So you would have to pay off that $85,000, $90,000 mortgage balance, either by selling the property or refinancing the property, or otherwise you can sell the property to yourself. You can sell it to a third party. You can purchase the property yourself, or you can refinance the property, presumably and you can pay off that reverse mortgage and it is yours. Many people are like, okay, what if my credit is bad? What if 3 months is not enough? If 3 months is not enough, Donna, to resolve the issue, typically you can ask the lender for an extension and they will provide you another 3-month extension. And as long as you're working toward a resolution, the lender may give you 1, 2, I don't know about 3, but they may give you extensions as long as you can show them in good faith that you're trying to resolve the issue. Now, Donna asked a very smart question. She said, well, okay, got it. Reverse mortgage. She said, but how does a living trust play into this? Well, first, let's talk about how a living trust does not play into this. Eric Hold, Cliff Hold. If your parents pass and they have a reverse mortgage, and even if it's not a reverse mortgage, what I'm about to say still holds true. Your parents pass, they have a reverse mortgage, or they just have a regular mortgage, and it's not in trust. In order for you as the heirs of your parents' estate, Donna, presuming that, right? If there is no will, there is no trust. Most often, what is required in order for you to become the owner of the property, the legal owner of the property, is the process called probate. So Donna would otherwise have to go through probate so that she can assert and manifest her right as an heir of her parents' estate. So before Donna could do anything like refinance the property, sell the property, or purchase the property herself, she would first have to go through probate to establish that she is the rightful heir or the new owner of that property from her parent. Here's the beauty of the living trust. Thank you, Donna. You set me up. The beauty of the living trust is that if the property is in a trust and the trust says upon my demise, the property goes to my daughter, Donna. Now, Donna is not required to go through probate because the property is already hers. It's already been given to her. But Donna, listen to me very carefully and send me an email. Go through my website, Donna, and send me an email because it's too much for me to continue on, but I'm just going to give you one more tidbit. attorneyernestfenton.com. That's my website. You can send me a message, anybody listening, through attorneyernestfenton.com. Here's the catch, Donna. A lot of lenders are not familiar with living trusts, or they're not familiar with this optional alternative estate planning tool called a living trust. It's like they're stuck in the 60s or the 70s, and they have yet to acknowledge that there is a new technology called an iPhone. Rather, they're still stuck with utilizing payphones. What I'm saying is that a lot of lenders are operating in the Stone Age. So, Donna, if you contact the lender as an example and you say, listen, my parent, my mother, father has recently passed. I understand they have a reverse mortgage, but I have a document. It's called a living trust, and they've left the property to me so I can establish that I am now the new owner. I'd like to go ahead and refinance this property or otherwise pay it off or otherwise sell it. Now, Donna, from a legal standpoint, it should be no issue. The lender should be able to look at that document, pass it over to the legal team. The legal team should review it, confirm the fact that it is a valid trust, so on and so forth, and then go ahead and communicate with you so you can go ahead and finish the business up. A lot of lenders will not do it because they are antiquated, and what they want to see, Donna, is a document from the court called letters of office. So despite the fact that the living trust was set up to avoid probate, when there's a reverse mortgage or when you have to deal with the lender, oftentimes the lender's 1960 style, 1970 technique, like Kung Fu, they still want you to go through probate. And really, you're going through probate for nothing. Most oftentimes, Donna, we're able to get around it. It just requires a little elbowing. We have to nudge the lender and explain to them what's going on. That's it. So send me if you need some help on that. And so if anyone has a reverse mortgage or even just a mortgage and one of your parents have passed and now you're trying to deal with the mortgage company, and for whatever reason, the mortgage company won't deal with you, send me a message at attorneyernestfenton.com. People, if you're watching on social media, share the video, tag some people, do a watch party. attorneyernestfenton.com. Let's go to line 2, Cliff.
Attorney Fenn, thanks for taking my call. I have a similar situation. So my father, when he was alive, he remarried, and so purchased a house, paid in full, the whole 9 yards. He passes away. Now his wife is still in the house. But what happens when she passes away? That property, who has access to that property?
Man, I swear listen, people, these calls are not staged. The Donna's question and your question are two of the things that I wanted to talk about most.
Thank you. I'll just hang up and listen.
But hold on, I have to ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
So are you telling me that when your father purchased the property with your stepmother, are both of their names on the deed? Or was both of their names on the deed?
I believe so. She manipulated and got her name on it.
Got it. I swear you just set me up for my second part. This is what I wanted to talk about most. Okay, so just listen. I got you. Thanks, Cliff. All right. So let me just recap. So what had happened was Cliff's father, he remarried. So now he has a stepmother. And Cliff's father and his stepmother, they purchased the property. That's my understanding. Did I get it right? Okay. So then Cliff's father passed, or he predeceased Cliff's stepmother. So I just asked Cliff, I said, Cliff, as far as you know, were they both on title? That is on the deed. When you say title, most people, we mean the deed. Although they're two separate things, it's used generically. Title, deed are used interchangeably. So what I mean is, like, were they both on the deed together? So he's saying, yeah, I believe so. First off, let me establish this. Typically, when there are two people and they are married and they purchase property together, they purchase the property as a married couple. What that means from a legal term is that they purchase as what is called tenants by the entirety. Tenants by the entirety. Only married people can purchase property and be on title as tenants by the entirety. Now, if you're not married, let's just say you're engaged or you're friends and you're investing in property, you can be on property as joint tenants, or you can be on property as something called tenants in common. Well, what's the distinction? Well, the distinction is this. If you purchase property as tenants by the entirety or as joint tenants, what that means is that whenever one of the parties on the title passes, then the full interest of the property is transferred automatically as an operation of law to the survivor. So what that means for Cliff is this. It means that when his father passed, presuming that his stepmother and he were on title as tenants by the entirety, and most oftentimes that's the case, 99% of the time, what that means is that when his father passed, then his stepmother became the 100% owner. This is what I wanted to talk about. I need some music. I need something, man. Can you give me something? Some drums? Give me some drama? Give me something. Woo! You get me fired up. You get me fired up. Thank you, sir. That's it. I don't want them to cut me off. Why did you do that, man? My blood pressure shot up. I started sweating in here. This man ain't playing up in here. This conversation is so critical. So what that means potentially for Cliff, so if you have a step parent or whatever the case may be, what that means potentially for Cliff is that when his stepmother passes, presuming that the property is not in a trust, he's saying it wasn't, there was no will, whatever the case may be, the bottom line is that Cliff will be disinherited. That's the conversation that I wanted to have. That is why it is so critical, especially if you have a blended family, to not simply rely upon, hey, I'm going to put my spouse on this, I'm going to put this person on that. You must have a trust, because what may happen intentionally or unintentionally is that somebody's family, someone's half, is going to potentially be disinherited. Do you all get that? Did you all understand that on social media? I need one or two people to say that you got it, or I'll explain it again. I'm going to pause for 2 seconds. I need at least one person to tell me you understand how one can be disinherited. Cliff, send me a message at attorneyernestfenton.com. So I have at least three similar cases. So now the question becomes, what can Cliff do so that he's not disinherited? Because when his stepmother passes, if she puts nothing in place, her side of the family is going to inherit the property. All right, we're going to take a break. Yes, sir. Oh, now you can hear me. Never too busy. That Eric Benet. Did I get it? Or did he bit this?
Right. No, he bit it.
Yeah, this is Eric Benet, Never Too Busy. Well, it's not. He took it from, evidently. That's what this is, yeah. Oh, you all didn't know I know my music a little bit? Oh, okay. Welcome back. That Count Chocula. Count Chocula. I am attorney Ernest B. Fenton, your consumer advocate at the law office of Ernest B. Fenton. I can be contacted at 708-991-7268. Visit us on the web at attorneyernestfenton.com. attorneyernestfenton.com. Can you hear me now? You'd like to call in and ask any questions regarding your real estate matters, estate planning matters. Do you have a loved one who's incapacitated? Or if someone's passed and you have questions what to do now, what to do next, or how to plan for an emergency, I'm here. I'm available for you. We have about 20 minutes for it. 312-374-8130. Share the video, tag a friend, family member. Listen to my podcast, attorneyernestfenton.podomatic.com. I have probably close to 100 broadcasts on my podcast, attorneyernestfenton.podomatic.com. Let's go to line 2. Let's speak with Eric. People call in. Don't wait now. Eric, how are you, sir? Thanks for holding on. Eric. We have Eric. We lost Eric. All right. I'll give you, I don't know. They turned off the microphone and I was just talking. I'll back up and repeat what I was speaking of. I hear some in the background. 312-374-8130. 312-374-8130. And again, my website is attorneyernestfenton.com. What I had said was during the break, I was talking about foreclosure. And one of the things I shared was, unfortunately, I know, from a financial standpoint, a lot of people, are struggling, and we estimate or anticipate that even more will be. They talk, right now, of course, it's a health crisis, and what's most important is one's health and well-being from a health standpoint. But there will also be some systemic effects of this pandemic, and they will be financial, and they're occurring currently. But they're going to more so, blossom or blow up in the months to come. So we want everyone to be prepared as best you may. Your home, that's one of the more important assets that we all have and that we cherish. It's the foundation for, many things. For us as a family, from an economic standpoint, safety, a security standpoint, community, it's all linked in some form or fashion or related to one's home, foundation, home. And so I was sharing that in 2008, 2009, unfortunately, I played a role, a small part, in the foreclosure crisis and the defense of homeowners, and represented thousands of clients in that regard. So what I'm saying is, like, if you're behind on your mortgage payment, know that first and foremost that a lender cannot file a formal foreclosure action against you until you're 90 days or more behind on your mortgage payment. So if you fall behind 30 days, I don't want you to panic, because you still have an opportunity to make a payment before you're 60 days behind on your mortgage payment. And then if you're 60 days behind on your mortgage payment, I still don't want you to panic, because unless you fall 90 days or more behind on your mortgage payment, the lender cannot initiate formal foreclosure proceedings. But what happens is that people panic and then they don't have information too, or they are provided misinformation. And typically the misinformation comes from the lender. Maxine, I see ya. 312-374-8130. If I can't get to you, go ahead and send me a message through my website at attorneyernestfenton.com. So the misinformation that is provided by the lender is this. A person falls 30 days, 45 days behind on their mortgage payment. They receive a notice of default. On this notice of default, there's some language that is very scary. Like there are terms like foreclosure. There are terms like you are in threat of losing your home. They may even go as far as put a date on it. They'll say, hey, we anticipate by August 2020, your home will be taken from you. See, this is all speculation. These are words that are intended to scare you into making a mortgage payment, even if you don't have the money. They're like, I don't care where you have to get it, just get it to us. Otherwise, we're going to take your house. But what I'm trying to tell you is that they cannot take your house unless or until they can't even begin the process unless or until you are 90 days or more behind on your mortgage payment. I don't care what that notice of default says. It's just intended to scare you. And it works. So here's the second phase. The second phase is that then a person will pick up the phone and they're like, oh my God, I'm about to lose my house. I haven't paid for January and it's February 15th. And so now, I'm about to lose my home. What do I do? They pick up the phone. They call the lender. They say, lender, I don't have the payment for January, nor do I have the payment for February, but I will have the payment for February in about a week or two. So like February 20th, I'll have the payment right after Valentine's Day or something. And then the lender will say, well, okay, your mortgage payment is $1,200 or $1,500 a month. So you owe for January, that's $1,500. Then you relate. So let's add another 5%. Let's call that, what's that? 75 or so dollars, 25, 75. I don't know. $75. So now you owe, let's just call it $1,600. Then you didn't pay for February. That's another $1,500. So that's $3,100. Then you were late on that. So that's another $75. So you owe, let's just round it up. Let's just say you now owe $3,200 for January and February. Well, if you couldn't pay $1,500 in January, what's the odds that you can pay $3,200 in February? And then what the lender will tell you is that, listen, unless you send us $3,200, we're going to foreclose on your home. So what happens then is that the person is like, well, I don't have $3,200. I can come up with $1,500. I can come up with $1,600, but I can't come up with $3,200. So then they do nothing at all. And then they wake up one day and it's March. Next thing you know, they're 90 days or more behind on their mortgage payment. They find themselves in foreclosure. But this is what the average person didn't know. What the average person didn't know is that forget what the lender was talking about on the phone. Forget them talking about you need to send us $3,200. If you would have called Attorney Fenton, what he would have told you, can I talk in the third person? Man, you got me talking in the third person. He played Papa Was a Rolling Stone. The man got me talking in the third person. Only if Papa Was a Rolling Stone would start talking. I'm back. I'm back. This is what I would have told you. If you are behind on your mortgage payment, as long as you are 90 days or less behind on your mortgage payment, they cannot not start formal foreclosure proceedings. Although they're going to tell you that you need to send 2 months of mortgage payments, send them one. Send them one. And you can be a month or 2 months behind on your mortgage payment for the next 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. They cannot begin those proceedings. So many people went into foreclosure because they were provided misinformation and largely by the lender. Yes, they did. Let's go to the lines. AttorneyErnestFenton.com. Maxine. How are you?
Okay. What else do you deal with?
Anything related to business, A to Z. Anything dealing with real estate, A to Z. Any type of estate planning.
Okay.
Yes.
What about? I received a letter back here that's more than 20 years old. I had signed on a bank account with my uncle.
Yeah.
He passed. I didn't know he had passed. So I think it was in June of last year.
Yes.
I get the letter stating that I had X amount of dollars in the account.
Yes.
Okay. So then it turned back around. It says, well, that's a mistake, because of it's another person.
Oh, wow. So you just need to look into that. I can't help you.
I need to look into that.
Yeah, just call my office. I mean, it's not something, can I help you? Can I lead you in the right direction? Yes. But it's not necessarily a specific area of law. So just give my office a call. Yep. 708-991.
Wait, you're going so fast. What is it?
Oh, no, I'm going to continue to tell you what the number is. I'll repeat it throughout the show, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. 708-991-7268. It's 708-991-7268. For all you young folk, send me a message through my website, because that way you can type out, what it is you'd like to discuss with me and provide me information is much more effective. Sending me a message through my website, attorneyernestfenton.com. Let's go to line 2. Yvonne.
Yes, and you are my attorney, Fenton.
Oh.
In 2011, you did a land trust, power of attorney, and health care for me. Mm-hmm. And a couple of years later, I called you because I didn't like my interest rate, and you told me how to accelerate my payments, send extra money in every month.
Did you?
And I did. I paid off my mortgage.
What? That's what I'm talking about.
Yep, I paid it off 2 months ago.
Wow.
And I'm so happy about that I don't have a mortgage now. I feel sorry for the people that do have a mortgage now, but I don't have one, and I'm so glad that I had you to do that for me.
Thank you.
And now, when they told me that I had to send, give them money for, they say they were going to get my deed.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I sent them the money for the deed and, all the costs. And I haven't got it. It's been 2 months, and I haven't got my deed. So I never told the mortgage company that my property was in a land trust. I don't think I was supposed to. But what do I do now? How long does it take me to get my deed?
Okay.
I paid it all.
So let me share this with you, okay? And you can just listen in. And if you need some help, just send me a message through my website, attorneyernestfenton.com. That's attorneyernestfenton.com. I have time enough for one more call.
Okay, I'm gonna hang up. Okay. All right, thank you.
Yep, very welcome. I have time for one more call. 312-374-8130. Hey, if you all are ear hustling on social media, at least have the decency to share the video or tag a friend or tell somebody. Don't withhold information. People always say, Attorney Fenton, what I like about you. Thank you. Because they's like, Attorney Fenton, what I like about you is because you give out so much information. Some people are like, you just give people the information. You don't even try to charge them. You don't try to, I don't believe in hiding information from people. It's too critical. It's like, I already know that I'm going to receive my blessings. Like, I think the more you give, the more you get. It's just the law of attraction. So I believe in giving. I give. If you want to call me, call me. If you don't want to call me, don't call me. But that's okay. My blessing is more than financial. I like seeing my people win. I like seeing people win. Poor people, people of color, the underdog, the 99 percenters. I like seeing us win. Okay. So Yvonne, what happened was, first off, what she mentioned was she accelerated her own mortgage. What is she talking about? She said, Attorney Fenton, you told me how to accelerate my mortgage. What do you mean? There's no such thing. I made that up. So what is she talking about? This is what I'm saying to you. A lot of people, like, let's say you obtain a mortgage and you don't like your interest rate in the sense that it's too high. Let's say you buy a property, it's $150,000, and you have a 6% interest rate. And you're like, Attorney Fenton, I don't want that interest rate. That interest rate is too high. And then this is what I'll tell you. I'll say, okay, got it. I'll say, all right, how much is your mortgage payment? And they'll be like, well, my mortgage payment with that interest rate and the taxes and everything, my mortgage payment is $1,200 a month. And then I'll say, okay, great. What is your gross household income? And they'll be like, Attorney Fenton, my gross household income is $6,000 a month. I'm saying, so then how difficult is it for you to make that mortgage payment? And they're like, Attorney Fenton, that mortgage payment ain't nothing to me. And so what I tell them then is I said, let me tell you how to effectively reduce your own interest rate. Let me just tell you, it's not a big tell. It's a small tell, but it's important. Let me just tell you how to effectively reduce how much interest you pay to your lender over the life of the loan. It's really not that difficult. You've heard it before, most of you. It's just add a few dollars to your mortgage payment. So if you have a $1,200 a month mortgage payment, and you know that you can afford to pay $1,300 a month, just go ahead and set your mortgage payment at $1,300 a month. If you add $100 or $200 a month more to your mortgage payment, you can effectively, first off, pay off your mortgage in 5 to 10 years sooner than you would have. 5 years sooner. I think it's per 100,000. I don't know the math, but if it's like $150,000 loan, you add $100, $200 more to your mortgage payment each month, you can effectively pay off your mortgage years sooner. Not only will you effectively pay off your mortgage years sooner, that's what she was talking about. Yvonne said, Attorney Fenton, I just paid off my mortgage payment early. You will also be saving tens of thousands of dollars just by adding, I'll call it $200 a month to your mortgage payment. That's what she's talking about, people. It was another question. What else was it? Someone else? It was something else that I wanted to share with you. I can't remember. Okay, people, we're about to wrap it up. We have about 5 or 6 more minutes. Again, if you're interested in having a conversation with me, as strange as it may sound, it's really not that difficult. Oftentimes I'll answer the phone and folk will be like, I can't believe. I'll be like, hello, it's Attorney Fenton. They'll be like, I can't believe you actually answered the phone. I didn't think I would be able to talk to you. Yes, people, I actually answer my own phone oftentimes, not all the time. Oftentimes. And I stopped answering my phone years ago. Let's say like 7 or 8 years ago. I went 2-3 years. I didn't answer the phone, or maybe longer. And then what I got is that by me answering the phone, it allows me to get a better feel of the people who are calling into my office. When I had other people answering the phone, there were a lot of people I didn't get an opportunity to speak with because they were being vetted by my staff at the time, and they can't vet like I vet. There's information, there's a relationship that's built. So I found it very valuable. So this is a piece of advice I'll give to business owners. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm all about efficiency. So that's why I'm like, send me a message through my website. So don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting up all day answering the phone, but it's a good practice to just stop and, like, what I call get on the fryer. So like if you're in a restaurant, you've grown, you've advanced, and you have staff and everything. And so now you're like not even in the restaurant. You're at the office off site handling business. Maybe you have 2 restaurants. It's good to go in the restaurant and put the apron on and like sweep the floors. Yeah, that's what I learned from a business standpoint. You want to always stay close. Now, not every day. You can't do that every day. But every now and again, you need to go in the restaurant, you need to grab a broom, and you need to sweep the floor. And so my version of going into my restaurant and sweeping the floor and like washing off the tables and bringing food to the tables and serving the customers, my version of that is me answering the phone and like talking and taking the message and talking it through with you, because now I'm learning this is what I'm doing. This is that street lingo. I'm keeping my ear close to the streets. That's called keeping my ears close to the street. You're not from the street. All right. It was something else Yvonne had shared. Any other questions on social media? Again, share the video. You can find me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on my podcast, attorneyernestfenton.com. attorneyernestfenton.podomatic.com. And if you'd like to ask me any questions, if you heard anything during this broadcast that you'd like to discuss further, or you desire more information regarding, the best way, the most efficient way to communicate with me, at least from the beginning, is to send me a message through my website, attorneyernestfenton.com, and you can type in your question and say, hey, I heard you, and all this other stuff. And it was something else. I can't remember. Was it the foreclosure piece? After this is over, I'm going to remember, and I'll be like, I can't believe I forgot. If I remember, what I'll do is I'll go back to I'll go to social media. If you're not a friend of mine on Facebook, like my fan page. No question, people. You have no questions. None. All right. I'll end my last minute and 30 seconds with this, because we have the pandemic going on. There's this thing out there. It's called a healthcare power of attorney. What is a healthcare power of attorney? A healthcare power of attorney is when you or someone principal appoints someone else agent to do something on your behalf, that is, act on your behalf when you are incapacitated, or if you ever become incapacitated. Who gets to determine if you're incapacitated? Not your mama, not your brother, not your sister, not your friend. Only a doctor or a physician can determine that you are incapacitated pursuant to a healthcare power of attorney. So you, principal, name someone agent to do something, act on your behalf when you are incapacitated per who? A physician or a doctor. That is important. Everybody above the age of 18 years of age needs a power of attorney, a healthcare power of attorney. I don't care how healthy you think you are. I don't care how invincible you believe you are. If you do not have a healthcare power of attorney, people, I'm telling you, you ain't right. I had a client, she called me today. She was like, Attorney Fenton, I missed you on Saturdays at 12, boy. You just had me feeling guilty. I hear you on the radio and you saying, get your stuff together. And she's like, I just want to turn you off. And I laughed. All right, people, I appreciate you tuning in. I have one more show, one more special broadcast. I can't remember the day. It's like 3-4 weeks from now. Just look out for my next special broadcast. But you know how to find me. I appreciate you all tuning in. I appreciate you listening in on social media, sharing the video, and entrusting me, with your family. And I'm always here. Attorney Ernest B. Fenton. Until next time, paper. I said, oh, they. Peace.